Hello.
Hey, wow,
Hey.
looks like long time no see, ah.
Yes, Pastor. I came on board because of the topic today.
Yes, because you are an expert, right? Today you're the expert.
how
Ah,
you know? I always tell you, is it?
you always come to me for counseling, what? So I know lah.
I mean,
Yes.
it feels good to be talking about a topic. Yes,
Ah,
yes,
good, good,
yes,
good, good. Okay.
yes.
So how? How are you?
So good, good. I'm excited to be back. I think the last we met was in our conference,
Conference,
and we
yes.
spoke about identity and all that, right?
That's right. It was a very
Uh,
good talk. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So now we're back and we want to talk about all things teenagers once again. And
Yeah.
today we're going to talk about on the topic of masturbation.
Wow. Is that referring to the like king size bed in the main bedroom?
Actually, when I was 12 and people start
Ah,
talking about masturbation, I
yes.
thought it's something to do with a bed. Yes.
Ah, ya lah,
Master.
the big bed that is in your parents' room one lah.
Yeah. I mean, last.
Ah,
So until I found out it's a totally different meaning, lah.
oh, okay. But somehow, sometimes the bed is still involved lah.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. Hey, just a
okay,
story.
yes.
I'll
All
just share
right.
with you my experience on masturbation, all right? So I'm not
Okay.
an expert. We have an expert today,
Oh,
which
careful when you say that way.
we'll introduce later. But I better share my story now because at this moment we only have like what 5,000 people watching us, right? And as people come later, they will at least miss my part of the story. But I think I first masturbated when I was probably 11 or 12, right? And so it was a new experience to me. It wasn't intentional. So things happened and this whole white thing just started splurting out, right? And then I panicked, because right, it's my first experience of like the penis all in one straight, strong line, things coming out which is not urine. So I went to my mom. I asked my mom with my penis like tegang. I say, why
Okay.
and then she said,
Wow.
"Oh boy, what is this?" And then I told, I don't know, there's white things coming out. Then she started asking me questions like, "Hey, you got see anything or not?" And she didn't even want to say it. She feels so malu. And then when I found out what it actually is, I yang malu. Okay,
Okay.
that's the so-called expert me lah. My first time experience. Wow. Hey, how about yours? You share yours a bit lah. Let me
My what?
Pastor Andy's first time masturbation experience.
Uh, mine, huh?
Put you on the spot.
I think I was about 30 years old. No, just kidding.
Wow. Okay.
Very young. I think maybe 12. And it's by accident one.
Yeah. Accident.
By
Yeah.
accident one. One of those things where, but there was some kind of magazine involved. It wasn't like a dirty magazine. As in like it's not dusty or anything. No. It wasn't like a porn magazine. It was just a magazine lah. One of those magazine where there are some sexy girls inside there, and because I was looking at the magazine, there was an erection, and then I didn't know what to do with it basically. But I was like, oh, what is this? What is this thing lah? Like what is this occurrence? Suddenly it was one size and one shape, and then suddenly it's another. And so I was curious. So I used my hand to like handle it lah. Like, hey, what's going on here? And then suddenly it felt there was this feeling, and then like, whoa!
Pancho lah.
This explosion. I was like, whoa! What just came out from me? Like, what is this? I've never seen this before. I really thought that something was wrong with me.
Yeah.
I really thought that like something's broken, something's wrong. Like, it's like sometimes when you got pus, there's something wrong, right? Because you got pus coming from your body or got a cut and blood coming from your body. I thought like, whoa, what is this now? And I didn't know who to ask.
Right.
So of course I went to school and talked to some friends, and then of course, they gave me some answers lah. And that's why I think it's important that we, as representation of a church, we talk about this.
Right.
Because there are many places we can go to get answers for things we don't understand, including masturbation.
Right.
But not all places that you get answers from are good places or right places. So we feel like the church should at least be one of the places where people come and get answers about things like that. Yeah.
Yes. And today, it's not that we have all the answers, but we have someone who is very passionate about this topic. I think it would do this pastor more justice if you introduce her, Pastor Andy. Yes.
Yeah. Me. Oh.
Yes.
Okay. I've met this pastor for a very long time already. Can't remember how long. But I've always felt like this pastor has a very big heart for people. Now I know, of course, we invited her because she has a lot of experience. When I say experience, I mean experience dealing with people that maybe struggle with masturbation or even other issues that is related to identity, gender, sex.
Right.
But the thing that I believe makes her so effective and so good in what she does is not just the knowledge, it's not even just the experience, but I think she genuinely has a heart. She genuinely cares for the people that come to her and get counseling and get help. So I think tonight we will not just get knowledge, information, wisdom, but we will also get the heart of a pastor, the heart of a shepherd, the heart of someone who really cares and want to see people become better. So I will consider this person a friend, not just a ministry friend, but a friend and also a sister. I will describe her as a sister as well. Although we are not of the same age bracket, I'll leave you to guess who's younger. But yeah, it gives me great privilege tonight to invite on the show with us Pastor Tryphena.
Wow! Hi, Pastor Tryphena.
Hey, hi, Kanesh. Hi, Andy.
So good to have you with us. Yes.
Oh, yeah. I have fun hearing both of you. I wonder who is more experienced.
No. But Pastor Tryphena, I'm very curious, like what made you have a passion for people like this, like people who are struggling with masturbation and they want to make things right, and basically this whole sex ordeal and all that. What made you be you today?
I think first and foremost, I just want to say that I was once a lesbian, and also I was once a sex addict. I messed up my life, and if it's not because of God's grace, I'll probably be having HIV today. Okay, so someone who is so filthy, so wretched, but yet God redeemed, and yet God, cleansed and and restored my life, and I have nothing else left except this life for Him to use, and that's why I'm very passionate in doing what I'm doing. And of course, the title tonight, the Big M, is just part of it.
Yep. Wow. Thanks for being with us once again, Pastor Tryphena. Just spending your time.
Thanks. Yeah.
With us and our viewers. Now, for those of you tuning in, and if you're watching, remember that there is a Slido link. All right, you can either type out the link, or you can just scan it in a QR code in one of the corners on the screen, and then you type out ATC Masturbate. All right, it's all on your chat box. You have it there. And you can ask any question at all regarding masturbation. We'll attempt to get it answered. Or if you don't want to ask a question, but you want to make a confession because you feel like you want to tell someone about the things that you do and all that, and you want to remain anonymous, this is a platform that you can do. There is no judging because we won't know who wrote whatever. But hey, if you need help, we are here to help. All right. So Pastor Tryphena is here. Pastor, let's talk about the big M. And maybe let's qualify the big M, the word masturbate, right?
Yes.
Yeah, with this starting question, what do you? Well, I wouldn't ask what is masturbation, but more like what do you consider as masturbation?
Wow, I was just hearing both your stories just now, and I mean, basically both of you are guys lah. So your story will be a little bit different than female. So I remember, as for myself, I think I started as young as 9 years old.
Oh.
Yeah, 9 years old. And I don't even know that it's called masturbation. All I knew was that, I put something in between my leg, and I started to have, some friction between that bolster with my leg. And there, it stirs something in my body. And I felt like, kind of like, okay, maybe the word they say is you felt aroused, and you felt like so sexually awakened. So that was actually for me was the beginning of my experience in terms of masturbation. But of course, it's very much when you talk about masturbation, you would definitely be what they call be something that you of course we say we do it on our own DIY, okay, but there are also moments where others will be doing it for you, and it's where they stimulate your genitalia. I think just now I was like, wow, impressed with you guys, using the word like carnage lah. Not so much with Andy lah, no, but carnage already use the word penis, and by touching, by stroking, by massaging this what they call your genitalia, and then you will actually get that stimulation. Basically is that, okay? And of course, some people may not be using touching, stroking, or massaging. They may be using some toys, some objects to help to stimulate that. Yeah, I hope that would be clear.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure Kanish is very fascinated.
You can see Andy is trying to wipe out the sweat.
Pastor Andy very smart. He just get you to settle this topic.
I have to learn. I have to learn.
He owes me many cups of coffee.
I have to learn because not only am I youth pastor, I've got a boy and a girl also as my own child. One day I'm gonna have to have this talk.
Wow.
I have to understand. Yes.
Wow. I wonder how you approach it. Okay.
I think different age group. I mean, by then I can't help Pastor Andy already. He has to deal it on his own.
Oh my God. Hopefully Kanish is still around to help.
You don't want me to help lah. All right. Well, we went pretty on topic, pretty deep to it rather quickly. But just before we move on to the other questions that we have, and before we take on questions from the audience, we have a short little game just for people to understand Pastor Tryphena a little bit more. So this game is called Would You Rather? Juicy or not? Okay. So fast, first question come out already. Okay. So on screen you would see a few rather questions. So would you rather choose A or B, and Pastor Tryphena will answer. You can tell us why, or you can don't want to tell us why, that's fine. But it's just mainly us getting to know you, and then we'll continue on.
I think I'd rather be alone.
Oh, not yet. They haven't seen the question yet. Okay.
They haven't seen the question yet.
Yes. This one is for us. Okay. So, the question is this: would you rather be cool and alone, or lame and be known?
Wow. Okay. I'd rather be cool and alone.
Because you like to be cool, or you like to be alone?
I like to be alone more than I have no choice. You combine the two words.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. I think Pastor China, what she's trying to say is that she's already cool, so you don't have to think about that part.
All
right. Thank you. I never knew that.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you are very well known, so that's the factor to it also. All right. Next question. Would you rather watch a TV series or a good nap after a long day? Yeah.
I like to watch TV series.
Would you like to share with us what do you watch?
Well, I watch all those that you try to understand people's behavioral. I have a whole series of Criminal Minds.
Oh. Okay.
Very good. Yeah. Nice.
Right, of course, I watch China. I watch China drama also. Okay.
China dramas also. Okay. Very good. Yeah, I do watch some TV series whenever I can. And crime is one of those interesting ones that I like to catch. Okay, we'll move on to the next question.
Yes.
Okay, would you like to go back to the past to fix something, or go to the future to see something, to know something? Yeah.
Wow. Well, I have a lot of past. I have a lot of past that I need to have a closure and get it fixed, in that sense. Not to say fixed, but to have a closure. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm still working on that. Yeah.
Say something to someone you didn't get to, or something like that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we sometimes I owe many people sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wish it wasn't like that. Like that lah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Interesting.
Okay. Ganesh.
Oh, next one. Would you rather give teenagers advice or instruction?
This tool doesn't work for me.
What's your
I-
normal?
Yeah, I would prefer this word. I rather empower.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
empower,
Very good.
because they are, well, they can make their own decision.
Okay.
Very good. So we learned something here. Ganesh, empower.
I'm already speechless. I don't feel like asking anything anymore.
First, you have to learn what empower means.
It's powerful lah.
Okay, let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
Pastor, would you rather counsel or preach?
Mm.
Empower. So that.
Well, the nature of my work is both. Okay, but I would rather journey. Yeah, I mean,
see.
yeah, basically I journey lah. I journey with them. Yeah, just be with them, walk alongside with them. That's all.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Pastor Andy, now the game is more like, what do you think Pastor Tryphena will say? The special word.
You give her two options, she always give you the third one.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay, let's go next. All right, next one. Would you disciple teens via text or meetup?
This one I can go straight to it. Meet up.
Okay.
Yes.
But then
Yeah.
there's the thing about teenagers like or prefer the whole texting method, and
Yes,
they seem
yes,
to
they
be opening up more, especially when we talk about touchy topics like this. What do you think about that?
But I think touchy topics like this, they would probably prefer to text, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm sure they'd be very curious to want to sit and have their bubble tea, and then I'll have my coffee, and we can still talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you think there's a limitation of how much you can draw out of a teen when you meet up rather than text? I don't know.
Of course. Like I say, prior to that, it's a lot of texting
Okay.
to begin with, and then I think when you have that relationship or when you have that connection,
Yes.
well, I'm sure they'll be open. Yeah.
All right. So teens, if you're watching, do you prefer that your pastor or counselor texts you or meet up with you? Just type it out in the comment section. It'll be quite fun for us.
Tell
to
us
know.
what you.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us what you prefer.
So we
Yeah.
learn also. All right. Okay. Next.
Okay. So, would you rather disciple teens with masturbation issues or disciple teens who refuse to study?
I prefer the first one. I prefer
Okay.
the first one because it's a real life issue.
Right.
You know, I think when they deal with their struggles or the challenges or their shame, well, the next thing is that they're free to continue their studies, or they're free to be pursuing their passion or their goal. Yeah. So I would do the first one.
Right. Okay. Ganesh, next one.
Yes. I don't know if got next one or not. Let's
Don't
see.
have.
Organizer.
Last one.
Oh,
Last
go.
one.
Hey, organizer, come on. The one earlier.
That one is very important, this one.
Yes. On teens masturbation, would you tell the parents or keep it a secret?
Mm. I won't tell their parents, but I would encourage them to tell their parents on their own.
Oh, you ask them to tell the parents.
I mean, I would encourage. I think when you have that, I mean, it's really case to case. I mean, it depends. At the very beginning stage, if they will just be sharing with you, you haven't even got that connection or relationship. I have, honestly, I have no right to be, you know, to be exposing them and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's a matter of life and death, definitely. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow,
Good.
I think tonight got a lot of parents hearing. No,
Is masturbation a life and death thing, Pastor Tryphena?
it's best, but I deal with some that is a matter of. I would use the word. It's just a fine thin line towards death. Okay, death in their emotions, death in their life, as per se, because they are already controlled by that addiction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. Yes. Oops. What happened to my video? Oh, I'm back. Okay. Hey. Yes, I'm
Yes.
back. Yes.
Are you
Yeah,
back?
that's all the question we have for you today, Pastor Tryphena. No, I mean not question.
More activity.
More
activity.
activity. Yes. All right, so we're back. And just to reset this place a little bit, if you are having any questions at all regarding masturbation, or you would like to say something about it, do remember that we have a Slido link for you. Just type out that it is hashtag ATC masturbate. Okay, there's also a QR code on the screen where you can scan. We would just like to hear from you and get your questions and get Pastor Tryphena attempt to answer some of these things so that you can leave tonight with a bit of peace in mind. All right. Why don't I start with the first question, then we see how things go from here, right? So I think in the Christian community, I don't think it's being talked a lot outside of the Christian community, but it's being talked a lot inside the Christian community because we sometimes we say that it is a wrong thing, it is sinful and all that. But actually, why? Like, I think there's a lot of people who ask this question: why is masturbation wrong? It hasn't involved a second party or a third party, right? It's just you.
Yeah. Maybe you can start with I guess is masturbation a sin? Yes or no? And then if it's no, why? If it's yes, why? Then I guess from there we'll be able to find the answer whether masturbation is wrong.
Wow, you start off with a very challenging one.
Get it out of the way,
You go straight to the Bible. Okay, now actually the Bible has very little to say about masturbation, honestly. Okay, but he has a lot to say about God's gift in terms of God's gift of sex to marriage. Okay, so I want to just draw the attention here. I mean, it's not you don't get the word so much about masturbation. And when you talk about, it has a lot to talk about God's gift of sex and marriage, and if we were to abuse it, it's like it becomes a sinful abuse of God's good intention or God's gift for a couple in a marriage. Okay, so what happened is that we need to understand that sex itself is not the issue. Sex is meant to be enjoyed by a husband and wife in marriage. Okay, and but what happened here is that when masturbation comes in, if this masturbation is coupled with lust, is coupled with lustful fantasies, and it becomes a substitute to a relational intimacy between a husband and wife in marriage, then it is wrong and it has to be addressed. Now, you see, I'm putting it as a wider context for you to understand that it is in the marriage. Okay, so what happened here is that if a person can't stop thinking about lustful thoughts all the time, we know very well that the Word of God did say that if you lust over somebody, take their eyes out. Okay, so that speaks very clearly that we are not meant to lust over someone else. Yeah. All right. So I think I answered it very directly.
Yeah. But is it like, can I paraphrase that as the result of there is you masturbate because there is lust and therefore it is a sin?
Yes. When I think the masturbation it becomes sinful when you are actually having a lustful fantasy.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would it be right for us to say therefore that it is the lust that is the sin? Although if there is some possible way to separate the act of masturbation from the lust, then the act of masturbation itself may not be sin. But of course, it's almost an impossibility to separate the two, right?
Yeah, but it's not easy. But again, it's like I'm very sure that there are lots of other issues that lies behind, that has caused the person to go into this path of lustful thought and so forth.
Right.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's like if you have never eaten durian, you never know the taste. No, but the moment you have been here, you've smelled it and you have tasted it, that particular sensory of yours is very powerful. You have seen it, you have smelled it, you have tasted it. So the same with if someone has never actually knew that word is called masturbation, but just releasing, ejaculate, like what Kanish is saying just now, his tank was too full and he has to come out and stuff like that. I mean, if nobody has ever talked about think of someone else. I don't think the guy would ever think of someone else, but we just get it out, and that's not a sin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that you mentioned tank being full, and sometimes the argument is that it is guys naturally have a certain period where they just want to let off that kind of thing. And sometimes people argue that hey, this is also God's creation, what having the whole tank, right? And then is it a trap of sin kind of a thing that when we have a tank and it's full, how? If we let off, then you say it's sin, but we don't have let off, then it's like, God, why do you give me this tank? That kind of thing.
Well, I think if it's I think very importantly is that it's not it shouldn't be something that is a substitute. All right, masturbation should not be something to substitute that which God has created, that is healthy, that is a normal sexual activity in marriage. Okay. Now I don't understand guys. I'm not a guy here. Okay, so I don't have the kind of tank like guys. Okay, but I do know that when your tank is full and you do need, in terms of what you call biologically, okay, you need to actually empty it, and if you were to do it very intentional, in private, without lustful thoughts, and doing it on your own with the intention of emptying the tank, then that is not a sin. Do I make sense? Okay. Yeah. I mean, as I journey with those who are struggling, I deal with those that probably they do it every day, that kind of level of addiction. And for them to minimize it, I would encourage them that, your tank is full. Yeah, you need to get it out, but you need to do it within this three condition or criteria. Number one, do it in private. It's not for people to see. Number two, it's not for others to do it for you. And number three, don't have any lustful thoughts. That's where the practice of self-control comes in, which is very, very challenging, but it is a process. Okay, it's not that it can't be done. It get better along the way if you intentionally want to work on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you two are like,
wow, very deep. It's like we need a women pastor to teach us this.
I'm so sorry.
Emptying the tank.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen so much with
Okay.
ladies. Ladies, like say, for those ladies, I mean, for girls who masturbate, you have to go behind the reason why they actually masturbate. It could be loneliness, it could be what they call tiredness or whatever. Like for myself, I know that tired is my button. All right, tiredness is my button. So when I'm tired, my system goes down. I become very vulnerable, and this kind of thoughts, if I don't guard it, it comes in because I have years and years of watching pornography that has actually impacted my life a lot. So one of the things also is when somebody has associated himself or herself a lot with porn, it does actually contribute to masturbation. That's why I use the word PM, pornography and masturbation. It comes hand in hand. Yeah.
Yeah. We actually have some interesting questions, Ganesh, on sleep already. One or two, which I think kind of relates with the current discussion. So I thought maybe we can pick it up. Someone asked how to stop the lust without masturbation. So I guess this person is saying I have lustful thoughts, and therefore I kind of like settle it with masturbation, because after I masturbate, I kind of like I satisfied those lustful thoughts. So if I cannot masturbate, then how do I do it?
I think when we have lustful thoughts, I asked myself in the past, because I've 10 over years of watching porn, I was addicted to it, and of course each time after watching it, we tend to masturbate. Okay, but first and foremost, I think running to porn itself is running to drugs. I was going for my fix, because when I watch it, the next thing is that if I can't sleep, I masturbate, and then therefore I can sleep. No, I'm giving myself excuses lah. I'm giving myself, reasons to actually just watch, and then, and have an instant gratification. I would say that, you know, it was an instant thing because masturbation is instant. And therefore I also allow my mind to lust, to look at, of course, I look at both men and women as well. And the thing is this, I ask myself, you know, when you lust over all this lustful fantasies, you know, I ask myself, Tryphena, how do you look at these people? Do you see them as human being, or do you see them as an object for that instant gratification? So actually, lust is when you actually don't look at a person as a human being. Actually, you look at the person just as an object to satisfy you instantly. That's for me. Yeah. So how do I actually, if you say that, how can you don't lust and then you masturbate? I think for guys, if you want to empty your tank, it can be very intentional. Like, you know, you have a date, and a day that you fix that, okay, this is the time I want to get it out. And very intentional, you tell yourself that I have no right to look at someone else and consider a person as a sexual object just to gratify myself. So it has to be a lot of telling yourself, like, how do you look at a human being? Yeah. Yeah. So if you keep on whatever you feed will grow, lor.
Yeah.
You know, if you keep on feeding the lust, it will grow. But whatever you starve will die.
Yes.
Mm.
Very good. Very good. Ganesh is still processing.
What
has he been feeding?
Yeah.
I don't know what are you getting into.
And then we also kind of just look at YouTube and Facebook, and we kind of just make a comment there. Hey, it's very quiet in here, because usually a lot of comments on, you know, they'll be commenting on what. But I said, wow, very quiet today, and everyone's saying, oh, we're focused, and then too focused on Pastor Tryphena's speech.
Oh my goodness.
Some people are saying some emojis. I don't know what they mean. The eye big one, the face. I think it's,
I wish I could multitask like you guys.
Yeah. But good. That means people are listening. They're engaged. We also noticed that on Facebook also there are more than usual viewers. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. This really is a very important topic that actually affects a lot of people, but it doesn't get talked about as if it's something that affects a lot of people, especially in the church, because we're all supposed to be holy and pure, and you know, right? And so it's hard to talk about some of things.
Yeah.
Because we talk about it too much also, it's like giving it too much focus, you know. But it's good to find the right balance. So I'm glad we're having this talk tonight, and we're glad to have Pastor Tryphena with us also.
Thank
yes.
Yes, that's right. So if you are focusing too much because you are scared to ask questions, remember there's a Slido link that you can ask anonymously.
Yes. You can always say, my friend asked this.
Yeah.
And we will definitely believe you, don't worry. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, Ganesh.
We do have some questions. We do have some questions also on Slido, but just before we attempt to go through that question, I also know Pastor Tryphena is involved with an organization called PLUC or Plug. Maybe just go through with us what is that about, and is that something that we can look out for if anyone needs help, etc. Yeah.
Oh, my dog is singing right now. My dog is echoing with you. Actually, PLUC stands for Pursuing Liberty Under Christ. We've been around, this is our 19th year. And this organization focuses on journeying with those who have gender issues, okay? Those like same-sex attraction or probably transgender and so forth, okay? So, but well, that's my favorite dog, okay? Yeah. Anyway, we actually walk with those with gender issues, and then we realized that in the midst of it, we deal with two very common things, and one of it is some of them have gone through sexual violation. You know, that's why either they swing to become very loose in their sexual activity, or they become very traumatized. Okay, but also we deal with those who have addiction. That's why I'm talking what I'm talking tonight. Okay, yeah. So we've been around, so you can check us out, and then if you have friends who may be interested to find out more about these things, you know, please welcome to be in touch with us.
Wow, thanks for sharing. Yep. Oh,
Yeah.
we have a question from Facebook, and
Yes.
it asks like this: How about children with special needs? It's quite a vague question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are trying to attempt to reach out to find out from this person, maybe clarify the
Okay,
question a bit
okay,
more.
okay, okay.
But I think at the moment we just have to guess. I think maybe she's asking like we know special needs children, right? What if they are struggling with
Yeah.
masturbation because they understand things differently, they deal with things
Yes.
differently. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, like you say, they understand things differently. Okay, so therefore their maturity may not be the same, may not match their age as well, and also because they are special needs, so therefore their perception, their understanding, and the way they comprehend things are very different. Okay, so you may need certain help from those who teach us special needs to actually help them to be respectful and help them to appreciate their sexuality. All right, so it's very different. So if they happen to lift up your skirt and trying to touch your fair skin and stuff like that, but they are already probably in their teens, okay, and they're doing that, it's because they do not know. So I think we need to work together with those who are trained in this area to help them. Okay.
Okay.
In
Good.
fact,
Yeah.
I
So
think
this
the same
yeah.
person wrote
Mm,
into our Slido
mm, mm,
on special needs, and I think she is mainly
mm.
asking on any
Yeah, yeah.
tips or experience lah. But I think feel free. I think it's Sue, right? Feel free to reach out to PLUC or Pastor Tryphena if you
Mm.
need help on that.
Yeah,
And
I can refer you to some friends who are trained in this area, and they can probably lead you and guide you. Okay, so I don't deal so much with the special needs. Okay, my plates are already so full, so we let those who are expert to deal with this. Yeah.
Very good. Okay. Yes. So special needs have to be dealt differently as well, a special way,
Yeah,
because of the level of understanding, maturity. It's just different.
it's different.
So
Yes.
yeah, and of course, Pastor Tryphena is saying that there is help. There is such help. There are people who are more experienced, have more expertise. So if you want to do reach out, maybe later we can type into the chat the PLC website so that you can go and reach out and take it from there. Yeah.
yes, okay. So we have another question from the crowd, and this is from Slido Link, right? And this person asked it this way: Does masturbation boost immune system? And then I'll probably follow up with that. Does masturbation brings any health benefit or so-called no benefit, health depreciation? Any thoughts on that? Yeah.
Mm. So far, I have not encountered any of my people that I journey with that it boosts their immune system. Okay, I've not come across any. But of course, like I say just now, when the tank is full, it needs to be empty. That would be helping with the health of the person. Okay, yeah, I would answer that way. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there like any alternatives for people to let go rather than masturbation? Like a replacement or something that you probably recommend, or you don't recommend that at all? What do you think?
Well, like I said just now in the very beginning, that those who have, those who are really addicted to masturbation, usually there are stories behind it.
Okay.
So I would like to probably get behind the issue. So it has to do a lot with talk therapy, just spending time hearing them, stress or whatever. What are they stressful of? What are they fearful of? What is it that they are deficit of, and things like that. So it has a lot to do with that. Okay, because don't forget that when a person masturbate, it does release a certain chemical, in the brain that causes that person to feel like to numb whatever pain that the person have. At the same time, for some of them, when they masturbate, they also feel that kind of relief. Okay, so we want to get behind it, and also to I think another way, another alternative is to really have a safe community that they can talk to. And that's where I feel that the church can learn something from this, okay? Whereby I'm not talking about the whole big church, maybe just have a few people whom you can trust and matured, preferably not of the same age. If you are really addicted to it, don't go and get your peers. At the end, everybody end up doing the same thing. You know, yeah. I mean, if you're really struggling with it, get someone who is older and really have them to be your accountability partner and safe enough to talk about your struggle. It is okay to talk about your struggles. It's okay to talk about it, because a lot of time, without us realizing it, masturbation has been used as a form of release, okay, as a form of coping. We call it the coping mechanism. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think I myself have been addicted to before. Since Ganesh asked me just now, put me on the spot. At least this time around, I'm a bit more prepared to answer. But I do agree with that, because for me, my button is sometimes tiredness, but at other times it's just stress. When there's too much pressure and I don't want to think about it, I don't want to solve the problem, I will go to this other mode so that I don't have to solve the problem, And yes, we all know it's temporary. We all know that it only lasts for a moment, and then the problem comes back the next day or something. But that's why it's an addiction. You just get pulled into it. You do it without thinking much, just to get that temporary gratification, that temporary pleasure. And yeah, I think it's good that we all recognize our trigger points, the button that pushes us to that point. Yeah. Yes.
I think it's very intentional, Pastor Andy. It has to be very intentional to battle with it. It is okay. It's very intentional. I remember, even though as a female, I struggle a lot with this. Okay, and usually it's a lot of time. It's a lot of time, like what you say, like when you're stressed, when you're lonely or tired. You just put down your guard, and then things just you just one after another. Okay, but usually all these things it's already in your brain. It's in your memory. You allow it. You're so preoccupied with it.
Yes.
So you preoccupy with it until so much so that you actually, without you realizing, you started to plan it. So it's already there. You plan it. Okay. You already like prep yourself. You plan it, and then the next moment when your guts are down, you act on it. And I don't know about the rest of you, but in my past experience, because knowing that this cannot be a replacement for the actual sexual intimacy that God has created, the gift of intimacy that God's created for marriage, okay? But I actually abuse it, and I tend to feel very guilty after that, and very ashamed of myself after that. And that makes it worse, because shame caused me to go further away from God. And I go back to the cycle. And then the cycle gets, imagine you cycle with the path every day, and you cycle or you walk. The path becomes so sad.
Yes.
So, Kanish, you're asking, what other things you can do? Imagine, you're trying to, if you ask me, it's the need to create a new path.
Right.
So good. Yeah.
Cool.
Ganesh, I feel like you got something to ask.
No, because like just now, I was just thinking of something. Like just now, we were talking about immune system. We were talking about health and all that, right? I think there are some point of time where it's also when you go and see doctor and all that, right? They take like prostate test or something. They'll ask you go masturbate to get a sperm, right? How do you do it? How do you deal with that? And I think Pastor Andy recently you also went for a test, right?
Yeah, not so recent lah, bro.
So is that like considered sin or and all that?
This is way before Zion came about.
Okay.
That's why I had to do the test, because my story is we found it very difficult to conceive a child.
Okay.
And for many years, we never took the whole medical option to go and check and all that, because we just very faith people, ma. We just pray God will give, ma. So when we had the miscarriage, so we did have a miscarriage in the 5th year of marriage, and then we wanted to try again. We're like, yeah, I think we better go and check lah. Just at least we know lah. So it was a decision we made that it's fair that we both the male and the female get checked, not just my wife. So I also went and checked. So through the checking, of course, we discovered that there was a problem with me too, and with my wife. We both had problems. My problem is the sperm count was very critically low. No, sperm count was okay. The count was okay. The healthy ones are not okay. So the doctor said there must be 60% good ones for a normal chance, and mine was 2%. Now, how did the doctor know that? He asked me to give a sample. So that's the one. Yes, it wasn't. It was weird because I didn't. It wasn't like tank was full. I had to release. It's really like, man, the hospital is so weird, and I just have to come up with it, And they sent me into a room. I thought what's going on, and then gave me a bottle, and then they said there's later you will see like a window on the wall, like a thing, you can open it up. So I went to open up, and there was a TV screen, and there was already a porn video playing lah. So I guess they already prepared lah for people to do this in the hospital. I don't know whether they change the video every day. It's a different one every time. I'm not sure. Because I only went one time only, and it was very awkward. So and I had to give sample, right? And there's no way it will come out, no other way. So I closed the window and I thought about my wife.
What a hack, right? It's such
but
a
only
hack.
Married people can do that lah.
Masturbation hack.
And we can get into the whole discussion of like, if you last for your wife, is it still last? I don't know. I don't know. Is this the talk for it? I'm not sure.
Right.
Yeah. No, but there's a related question, right? Kani, someone asked before. Someone asked us about this question even before the show because they already know that this is going to be discussed.
Okay.
And it's the whole thing about married couples. If a married couple does masturbation for the spouse,
for each other,
or
okay,
just one spouse does for the other, is it wrong or not? A married couple.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. We channel that question to Pastor Tryphena.
Wow. Okay. But I think you will have occasions when they are both separated, because of job, and one is so far away. Especially right now, you have pandemic, and one is in Singapore, one is in Malaysia, and they cannot come back, And then you do have that, even for female, they will have the sexual need, okay? And even for guys, So if you ask me, of course, the word of God speaks very clearly that when they are married, okay, in 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 3 says that they don't own the body The body don't belongs to them. It belongs to the wife. Once belongs to the husband belongs to the wife. Okay, but again is that I want to repeat what I've said earlier. Masturbation should not be used as a replacement of that God's gift of sex in marriage. Okay, so if they ended up doing that and they get addicted, so it becomes very self-focused, then that is actually not healthy for the marriage. Okay, but if within the marriage, I would say this: whatever that the husband and wife, both of them do in the bedroom is their business. It's really not our business.
Ooh. Okay.
Seriously, it's not our business to find out, Andy, did you get your wife to masturbate you and things? I mean, it's not for us to find out, honestly. Okay.
That's right.
And it's between them and God, honestly. Yeah. All right.
So Ganesh, stop asking.
Oh. Organizer prepared the question.
There's another question, right? There's another question.
Yes.
So
that's on Slido, right? So how does it sound? If boys can masturbate intentionally to empty the tank, does this mean that girls have no excuse to do so?
Because actually for masturbation, it's mainly actually the boys who do it. Okay, it's not so much for girls. Like I say just now, but because girls are very sensitive to touch.
Okay.
So when the certain parts of the body is being touched, even before, even not touching the genitalia, okay, even not touching the clitoris and all those things, the girl can already have that sensation. Okay, so they can be sexually aroused. So if you ask me, uh, 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 does it mean that we have no excuse to do so? Yeah, actually, we have no excuse to do it. Okay, let's get behind the issue. Why do you need to masturbate? So I ask myself, there'll be moments because this particular area in my life has already been broken. So in a way, there is a hole there, and I always need to constantly guard it. And I begin to realize that it is at certain vulnerable moments in my life that this word masturbation comes in very easily, because prior to that, it was the word lust. Okay, the porn comes in, the lust comes in, and then it enhanced the masturbation. So like I said just now, in terms of the scientific side, the body, that has to be for the male. They have that reason for doing it, but not for female. We don't need to ejaculate anything. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I know I'm talking to two guys here and they look a bit stunned.
I'm more stunned that Zion is learning this at 5.
My son is here. He's
Yeah,
learning,
it's never too early to learn. In fact, sex education needs to be gained
Correct. Yeah.
as young as even 3 and below.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if we have a healthy understanding of what sex is all about, I think this part of it, we won't be too shocked if we ever see a naked body.
Yeah, since my son is my 5-year-old son is here listening, Ganesh, I just have to tell you, he knows the word penis.
Wow, Zion, do you?
Yes. In fact, he only knows the word penis. We don't use like cuckoo bird lah, all this in the house. So he's always known the proper term. So it's the only word he knows that refers to that private part.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And he knows how to be respectful of that private part. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just telling them that you know.
Okay, cool. Just checking through Slido one more time. Now remember, if you have any questions at all to ask Pastor Tryphena, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, we have another 5 to 10 minutes left on stream. This is your best time to do it. Type it out in the comment section, the chat box, or go to the Slido link ATC Masturbate and just type out, right? You can type it out anonymously and we will try to get your question answered. Of course, if you don't have any questions, you can use that platform just to express whatever that you're going through, and if there's a need, if you want to reach out to us at any point of time, feel free to do so as well. Okay, cool. Whew. Wow, I don't know, I feel like I learned a lot today, learned a lot about
Yes.
masturbation.
Yep. I'm sure that there are both guys and girls watching and listening to this, and I hope it's been helpful for both guys and girls, because another thing also is that this topic has been discussed mainly as a guy problem or guy issue, but I have come to learn that actually girls also do struggle with it, just that maybe in the past especially it's not something so open to talk about, especially girls, too shameful to talk about. For guys, sometimes can still be an achievement, like, wow, you know what I did, but girls may not discuss it as much. However, I think times are also changing and it's becoming something more open for girls to talk about. So I hope this is also helping both guys and girls.
And if at all anyone is struggling with this masturbation, like after today's session, they feel like they want to make it right and they want to pursue holiness or Christ-likeness, or they just don't want to go through the whole I'm tired and then I masturbate and then I feel like a whole guilty and worn down and all that, right? So they want a change of lifestyle and all that. How do they do it? Who do they approach? Who to speak to? Is parents the right person to speak to? Is pastors the right person to speak to? What are your thoughts on that, Pastor Tryphena?
Well, I think if you guys are very closely connected to your parents and there's never been a barrier, please talk to them. I don't think you will shock them. Okay, Instead, I think your parents would be very appreciative that you do look up to them and want to get support and help. It does take a whole community to journey with you. I just want you to know that. Thus far, I've never seen anybody that can come out on their own. Okay, so you take a whole community. Of course, if you don't want to talk to your parents, please go and talk to your leaders, talk to your pastors, and it might shock them a bit, but it's okay. I think your pastors all need to be shaken a little bit and wake them up a bit. Give them some work to do, all right? And I'm sure they would, it may be hard for some of them. So please be very discerning. I think the very thing, Pastor Andy is here, Kanish is here. These are guys that you can actually go and talk to them. I just saw a message just now, one of my friends was saying, it's so cool to have Pastor Andy and Kanish, so openly talking about this topic. So your church is willing to talk about this. So please be in touch with them. Okay. Not that I don't deal with this issue, but if you know of somebody who has this addiction in terms of masturbation and porn, but at the same time, they must have the gender issue, then I would take up the case. Okay. If they don't have the gender issue, I would channel them all to Pastor Andy. All right. So you do need a whole what they call a community to walk with you. Yeah, it's very tiring to walk alone.
Right, but community sounds scary because that kind of implies a lot of people know that you are going through this, and
two or three
Okay,
three
two or
can be a
three.
community
Okay.
2 or 3.
Okay.
I'm not saying the whole kampong
Okay, fair. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. One more questions maybe we can take, and this is from TNT or James Carlos Liu. All right. So he asked this question, and we probably can maybe end with this.
Okay.
This is a question: what constitutes lust as compared natural sexual response? So what constitutes lust?
I think the word lust itself, in my very simple understanding, is whatever that it should not, it doesn't belongs to you, and you have no right over it, but you want it. That's lust. So it's not just about, it's just not about sex. Okay, it's even beyond that. Yeah. You can lust over someone's latest iPhone 12, right? Something like that. And I mean, that's lust. So it's actually getting something which does not belong to you and you have no right over it. I think that would constitute lust. Yeah.
Okay.
Yay, we finished an hour.
Well, phew. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Stuff.
That's why intentionally I wear red today, so it doesn't show my face red.
So even when you blush, you cannot really see lah. Thank you so much, Pastor Tryphena, for your time.
Most welcome.
And Kanish, you have any last words? Is it what you call
last
it? LUST, last words.
words that do not belong to me.
Pun intended. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
No, but maybe let's hear from Pastor Andy if you have any last words.
I guess
more like an encouragement to.
Yeah, I mean, Pastor Tryphena already defined lust, and of course, the question also come up with the second part, right? As compared to natural sexual response. I'm not sure what this person means, but when you talk about natural sexual response means natural sex, I think there's only nature means what is meant to be, right? Natural, what's natural, what's meant to be. And to me, my understanding is it is God that created sex. I mean, he's the one who created us with the sexual organs, right? And so he is the originator of sex. And if you want to talk about natural sexual response, you have to go back to the originator. And as far as I know, the Bible talks about sex. It does not hide away from this topic. It is a good thing because God never makes bad things. So if God made sex, it's a good thing. But he made it in the confines and he made it with boundaries. Everything requires boundaries. I mean, we don't like boundaries, but we need boundaries. Like imagine driving on the road with no lines. Imagine playing football with no rules, right? You can kick the ball anywhere. You can run around anywhere, kick the ball anywhere. It's not so fun anymore. So I think, yes, there is something called natural sex and it's defined by the creator of sex, which is God. and he gave his definition in a book called the Bible. And the Bible teaches us that sex should be enjoyed within the confines of marriage. And so, yes, sex is a good thing, but enjoy it when you are married. And when you're married, you can go for it. Like Pastor Tryphena, whatever you do in your bedroom with your spouse, that's your business. So I think that's what I would like to say. That sex is not an evil thing; it's a good thing. It's created by God, and we need to go back to the Creator to understand what is sex and how to enjoy it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Yeah, we've come to an end of today's session. Just before we close, I just wanted to point back to Pastor Andy. If you have any word of encouragement for those who are seeking, those who are, oh no, my video. Everyone is saying that I'm very nervous. I don't know why.
You look nervous, is it?
No, okay. So anyway, yeah. So any word of encouragement, mainly for those who are struggling and those who are, sometimes people struggle but they don't seek help because of shame and all that. Maybe
Yes.
let's close with that. What do you have to say about that? Any words of encouragement? Then
I think first and foremost, asking for help doesn't make you weak. It just makes you human. God did not make us to be alone. He did not. Like if he said it point blank, right? He made one human being, Adam, and then he said it's not good for men to be alone. And I don't think it just refers to, it's not good for males to be by themselves, so make them a female. I think God just meant it generally. Like, we all need companionship, we all need friendship, we all need community. God himself expresses himself in community, right? The Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So seeking help just makes you human. It doesn't make you weak. And there are a lot of issues, not just sexual issues, masturbation, but there are so many different issues in life that we are not meant to carry by ourselves. So I think first and foremost, let's remove the stigma. Let's remove the myth that if I go and seek help, if I go and seek help, it means that I'm weak. I cannot handle this problem on my own. Let's just take that away. It just makes you human. And if you're asking, well, is there really help? Will I be judged? Will people think of me wrongly? You know what? Maybe that has been your experience. Maybe some people have made you feel that way, judged and pushed aside. But I can also assure you that there is help. I was addicted for many, many years to porn, to masturbation. I received help. So surely there are help available. And because as a pastor, and even Kanesh as one of our leaders, because we have experienced it ourselves, we know what it's like to go through it. We know what it's like also to be rejected. So I can confidently say, if you are looking for help, you can consider people like Pastor Tryphena, even us, ex-teens, ex-church, or if you're not where we are, you are in some other state far away. I tell you, there will be people, there will be churches, ministries that are willing to help. Yeah, so seek help.
Great. Thanks, Pastor Andy. Thank you once again, Pastor Tryphena, for being with us in ATCHAT. We really, really appreciate your presence here and your thoughts. It was a great time of just talking about masturbation. Okay, so hard to say that. Okay, for those tuning in, thanks for joining us. It is 9 o'clock, rather 9:05 right now, and that's the end of ATCHAT. I hope you are blessed by today's program. Do remember and know that you can always reach out to X Team's Instagram account, DM us on what else you want to hear from us. Okay, let us know any topic that you want us to cover, because this program is really for you. We want to address things that you go through. We want to talk about it. We want to be very real and open about it. Or if you know any good speaker who you want to hear and talk about a specific issue, also just DM us at XTeens on Instagram. Other than that, I hope you had a good time, and I hope to see you next XTeens chat real soon. So follow us on social media, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.
Good night. Bye.
Ciao.